Hello, hello, and welcome back. I'm Eddie Hochschlag, and tonight's health shop is going to be Valentine's Day and Love. And of course, we're going to break it down in three different categories here for you. Dr. Mark is going to take the nutritional route when it comes to how drugs can actually deplete the nutrients inside of your body. Dr. Chip's going to talk about the physical part when it comes to oxytocin and kind of combining that with gratitude and chiropractic. I'm going to be talking a little bit about emotions with the energy centers that are in the human body, the subconscious mind, of course, and love. So first up is Dr. Mark.
Great. Thanks. Good to see you tonight, everybody out there. So we're going to start with talking about medications. And the reason I'm talking about medications is really the whole point of this is we're talking about love tonight as an emotion. And to have a love or a like for someone, I mean, you have to feel good. You can't be drugged. You can't be tired. You can't be wore out. I mean, you can't feel tired and grumpy, that kind of thing. So we wanted people to feel well. And people that are on medications don't realize a lot of times that these medications are causing them to feel bad. All the medications have tons of side effects. And so you can go to a real good place is drugs.com, www.drugs.com, look up your medications, see all the side effects. Also on that website is the physicians, what the physicians see on there too. So I love the bash on drugs. And it's not that, the drugs are not necessary at all. They are, but they're only meant to be used for a short term. And unfortunately, in our mainstream medicine as we have now, it's just used as a treatment for life. Like for instance, high blood pressure medication. So if your body's hyper and you have high blood pressure, they put you in medication which forces it down. Well, then you're tired. I mean, then it's hard to have the energy, the vibrancy, that kind of thing to have a feeling of love, to be able to share your feelings with somebody else and have a relationship. If you're constantly, poisoning yourself every day with medication, if you want to handle a problem, come on in. We'll handle a problem. We'll find the cause of the high blood pressure or whatever else you're dealing with. So there's a lot of things that we can do in our natural health world to help people feel right, feel vibrant, again, have that emotional energy that they need for a relationship, for like and developing into love, that kind of thing. So you can see that, of course, the different drugs and all the side effects that go along with that. So we'll go to what I'm going to talk about here. Everybody really knows about the side effects. I mean, some people don't want to know about them, but they know that every medication has a side effect, and they all do. So we're going to talk about the nutrients they deplete, because people don't really understand about that. So we'll talk about acid blockers first. One of the big problems with acid blockers is they deplete the body of B12, folate, iron, zinc, vitamin D, beta-carotene, calcium, magnesium, copper, and impair protein digestion. So as you can imagine, if you're having problems with that, if you're on an acid blocker, a proton pump inhibitor, one of the medications that ends in OL, a lot of times omeprazole and those kind of things, the purple pill, all those things. If you're taking those medications to stop the symptoms of GERD or stomach pain or whatever else you're having problems with there, yes, they work great on the symptoms, but they actually work the exact wrong way. Most people, and there are people that have too much acid production, but most people are not producing enough of the correct kind of stomach acid. So when that food goes into the stomach, it just rots, and that develops an acid the stomach is not meant for. And so the body can handle hydrochloric acid. That's the type of acid that it makes, and that comes from salt, by the way. The chloride comes from salt, so you have to have salt. But anyway, not making a hydrochloric acid, that food is rottening and causing all kind of other acids the stomach's not used to, and that's what irritates the stomach lining and causes the bloating, that kind of thing. Stomach acid has to be at 2 or in that pH range for the stomach to release the gastric juices that go into the digestion. And if it's not that high or low of a pH, the stomach doesn't work right. So when you use a proton pump inhibitor, you're actually stopping that from working correctly. And most people need more stomach acid, not less. And there's nutritional approaches for that. But again, if you're not digesting the food that you're trying to eat, absorbing the nutrients you need, you will absorb the carbohydrates. They're very easy. They're broken down very easily in the stomach with the enzymes, but they're absorbed very quickly. But if you're trying to break down proteins, those kind of things, heavy proteins like the meats and things, you won't absorb that. It's hard to feel good if you're not making proteins, you're not absorbing proteins and breaking those down in your diet. All your body's metabolic processes run on proteins. Enzymes are proteins. So if you're not digesting correctly, you're not going to absorb that. You're going to have a very inefficient body. People that are happy, that are alike and in love their lives, have lots of energy. And if you don't have good proteins and enzymes, you can't break down because of this lack of stomach acid, you're not going to have that type of feeling. The next one is antibiotics. We'll talk about antibiotics just quickly. And they deplete all the B vitamins, vitamins C and K, calcium, magnesium, zinc, iron, potassium, disruption of beneficial bacteria. So everybody knows really about when you have a cold, you'll go into the MD, and again, they're doing their best job, don't get me wrong, but they just give people antibiotics like candy. And the problem is everybody thinks, well, yeah, that's what it is, but most of the infections out there, especially in wintertime, flu, colds, most of them are viral. Antibiotics do not help that at all. Plus, they kill off your normal intestinal flora, which is how your body makes a lot of these B vitamins and how it breaks down some of the foods that get you into getting these minerals and different things. The other part that people don't even think about, though, is the antibiotics that are used in food, in our food supply, like for animals and things, to keep them alive so they can get fat and be butchered and then used for that. So like in CAFOs, the confinement type feeding systems out there, using a lot of antibiotics to keep those animals alive so that you can make a profit. So the idea there, if you're going to eat meats and things, you want to try to get grass-fed, grass-finished, and cattle, hogs, things that are that way, looking at the organic type of raising those, because the antibiotics just really disrupt the whole gut system. Now, what does it have to do with brain and that kind of thing too? Well, there's a big brain-gut connection. And if the intestinal flora is all messed up, your gut actually produces a lot of the serotonin that your body uses for the brain to be happy. And so if you're not digesting and your gut's all messed up and you have bad bacteria or yeast overgrowth in there, producing all kind of fungal toxins, you're not going to feel good. You're not going to digest well. You're not going to have any energy. And it's hard to love, be vibrant, enjoy your life. Yeah, again, if your gut's all messed up and bloating and all that kind of stuff. So enough about that. We'll go into the third one here, and I'll leave you alone. The antidepressants, SSRIs, antidepressants, one of their big problems is they deplete the body of sodium, folate, melatonin, and possible thyroid hormone levels. And that's just the nutrients deplete. There's tons of problems and the side effects. The medications that we have the hardest time getting people off of in the office here are the antidepressants, are the psych drugs. And that's because the body gets so adapted to those, it's so hard to get off. And most of the shooting sprees that go on out there are people that have been on or are on antidepressants or psychotic drugs. And they are just bad news all around. Now, I'm not saying that people don't need those at times, but let's look at why that is causing a problem in the first place. If people are terrible sugar eaters, they get depressed because of that, they go on the medication, well, the sugars are depleted to B vitamins, you need lots of B vitamins for your brain to work right, on and on. There's just a lot of reasons, a lot of causation there in the diet. So why don't we fix that and get off the medications? Again, if you're depressed, if you're manic or you're up and down, it's hard to have a life relationship, a love relationship, again, love life. find that special person and enjoy Valentine's Day. So again, our goal at Natural Health is to get people healthy and well, not just pain-free, not just symptom relief, but actually healthy and well and vibrant, so they can love life, love their neighbor, get along with people, that kind of thing, have patience with others, those kind of things. So that's enough for me on this side. We would love to help anyone out there. We get a lot of horror stories in the office here from people who have all kind of problems. One of our goals is to try to help people to get away from all that pain and anguish. Also on the medical debt side too. We want to try to get people away from having to spend all that money on deductibles and insurance and all that stuff. So anyway, happy to help. We'll go on to the next part with Dr. Chip. Take it away.
All right. Well, that was some good information from Dr. Mark. He's a smart man. I would listen to him. So I will go ahead and talk about the nervous system. So talking about love, we need to talk about oxytocin, the love chemical. And so the love chemical, or oxytocin, is stimulated, and it's the posterior part of the pituitary gland secretes this chemical. And how that happens is that when you have that loving thought or loving experience, that triggers the pituitary gland to secrete this chemical, and now you're actually feeling it inside of you as your body. So again, when you have loving thoughts, loving experiences, this triggers the brain and the nervous system. Again, the pituitary gland is a part of the brain, and that releases the oxytocin, the hormones. And so that's why the brain function, having proper nervous system health, is very important if you want to experience more love in your life, to be more vibrant, more energy. And so a lot of the different things that oxytocin is involved with is childbirth. Again, this is a very loving experience, one that connects the mom and child a lot. It's also involved with trusting others. Again, when you embrace somebody with a hug, you're more trusting them. That's what stimulates an oxytocin release. So again, oxytocin is a very, very big and important chemical, and I'm sure that during the Valentine's Day, it's going to be kind of expressed a lot more throughout this time. And then there's another little tidbit here about gratitude, which very similar to love. And there's research now to see that gratitude, just feeling grateful for other things, helps to stimulate the release of oxytocin. And we'll keep going here. So again, research is showing that practicing gratitude will help the oxytocin release. And what the oxytocin has been shown to help with is feeling less depressed, less anxious. It even has a pain relief effect. And so if you ever feel like you are in pain or anything like that, just being grateful for what you do have might mitigate that pain, might lessen that pain. And that's just by even with your thought and you're feeling alone. So again, too, is that gratitude has been shown to influence the brain again, and that is involved with the prefrontal cortex. So the prefrontal cortex is more of the frontal brain here. You can kind of picture it in your mind here. And so why I say that is that I'm a chiropractor, and so again, I want to make sure I'm focusing on the nervous system, helping the whole body to balance and to be vibrantly healthy. And so now there's research coming out for chiropractic supporting the positive influence on the prefrontal cortex. And so again, getting adjustments is almost similar to kind of a gratitude or a loving thing, and it always should be. It should be that the chiropractic is helping that brain-body connection, helping that heart and brain connection to really be healthy and be more loving. And again, there's plenty of research out there to show that with chiropractic adjustments, that it helps to calm down the nervous system. It helps to be less anxious, less depressed, less stressed out. And again, every time that we see that we're getting adjustments, the they're able to show that we're able to adapt to more and more stress load, and so that we can, again, be more loving, be more grateful, be more forgiving. So yeah, that's about all that slide. Well, and then again, I had a side note here, talking about more of the history of chiropractic a little bit here. And why that's important is that the founder, D.D. Palmer, he knew that thoughts were a very big component to your overall health and well-being. And that if you have negative thoughts, hateful thoughts, feelings of guilt, sadness, anything like that, he knew that those thoughts can be detrimental to your health. And when you can experience and when you can kind of swing to the other side of more loving, more gratitude, more better positive emotions and thoughts, that actually can help you to relieve a lot of different diseases that happened back in the day, and of course can help you now too. So we'll move on. Again, why I'm kind of focusing on the nervous system is that the brain and spinal cord control and coordinate all of the other systems of the body, be it the liver, the pancreas, the lungs, kidney, bladder, everything. And it does play an important role on the heart, but the heart influences the brain a lot too. And so when that brain and heart, or the brain and heart aren't synced up very properly, then you could have ill effects. And so again, when the heart is in tune very well, the brain is becoming healthier, more in sync, and now you're able to kind of regulate yourself. Again, chiropractic is, again, showing more research showing that it helps to influence the brain so that now you can have a more calming, more positive effect on your overall health and well-being. So again, well, how about we talk about gratitude as a practice? We practice all sorts of things, such as sports and going to the gym and writing and all these things, but do we ever really practice gratitude? Do we ever really practice feeling more love? Not when you receive something, but before you receive something. Again, that it's not, we've been conditioned in a certain way to always feel grateful for getting something. But have you ever kind of at the end of your day just been grateful for what you actually do have? Not always receiving something, but again, what you do have, like the ability to breathe for instance, sorry. That's very important, and that your body, again, it breathes on its own. You don't have to think about it. That's amazing. That everything that your body does, it's always trying to be healthy, and you didn't have to learn from a book. You were born into this world knowing exactly how to heal yourself. So I think that should be one thing to be very grateful for. So some tips on how to be more grateful to practice. Say thank you more often. Being a better person and being more of that loving nature. Saying thank you, you're welcome, all these different things. Giving genuine compliments. People love receiving compliments, but again, actually going and putting the effort into actually giving somebody else a compliment will help you to really compliment yourself throughout the day. And then write down 5 things that you're grateful for at the end of the day. Now again, it's a practice. So the more you do it, the better you get. The more you're practicing your brain to see more grateful things in your life. So if you always kind of more of a pessimistic person, more of always thinking the glass is half empty, then your brain is always gonna subconsciously, and Eddie will talk about that here soon, but it will subconsciously start trying to find things in your life that are more negative, on more the negative side. So when you keep practicing, just like an athlete practices for a certain sport, he gets really good at it, practicing gratitude, practicing more love, it will help you become more of a loving, more grateful person. So that's all for me. I'll turn it over to Eddie on the love and emotions.
Well, thank you, Chip, for introducing me. I'm going to be talking about love, but I want to take it kind of a little bit further step of how I perceive love when it comes to health. When I kind of find out, when I'm talking about the subconscious mind, a little part that I kind of look at too is how it's perceived on both sides of the coin. And one side of the coin is the Eastern world. And what the Eastern world is looking at is the energies that we cannot see with the eye. It's kind of fascinating that they kind of put in these energy centers in the body. And there's 7 of these energy centers, but they also look at all these different energy lines, energy points, and all over in the body that can cause, in their world, disease to the body. Now, if we kind of put that in perspective with the Western world looks at things that can be perceived with the human eye. And they find it, and they took that health approach another angle. So what they found is looking at a part of the body, and they kind of went into it a little bit deeper, and they went into a cellular level, an atomic level. But if we combine both of those worlds together, from the Eastern world and the Western world, we can find a correlation between the two, that they're both trying to find what's going on with the body with energy. So these energy centers that we look at here, and like I said, this is going off of the Eastern world, is we have 7 of them, but the middle of this guy right here is the heart energy center. And of course, the heart is always combined with unconditional love. And when we look at unconditional love, and as well as all of the heart energy center, we can find that correlation between the brain and the heart being very, very magnifyingly powerful when it comes to getting things that you would like or achieve in your life, as well as attracting those things that you would want to love and bring more and more into your life. And the big thing that they kind of looked at, and now the science is backing this up in the Western world with the brain and heart coherence, is that unconditional love is really the stable behind of a lot of this science. The Eastern world, they said that this energy centers in the body is what's going on, that the center is the heart chakra, but the Western world is actually finding that out, and it's actually scientifically backed up now. So the next one we kind of look at is, when we look at the subconscious mind, we got to think of when everyone kind of came to, Chip kind of talked about childbirth, everyone kind of comes in with a clean slate. They're just kind of an open, clear mind, so the subconscious mind. And between the age of 1 and 7 is the time that programs and thoughts start coming in. That's why it's very important to kind of educate a child for all the programs that they need to venture out in the world. And of course, we know that this mind is built by habit. So if we kind of put a kid, for example, and we give them the right thoughts over and over and over again, you can kind of see the personality of the kid grow and grow and grow and be loving, happy, energetic. And then, like I said, as well as in the other ones, I mean, there's trillions of things that this mind could do all at once. It records everything that we do, and it's going on 24/7, even when you're sleeping. So if we can kind of get this subconscious mind to be really programmed with just unconditional loving thoughts, then we can kind of see our own personality, our own life changes in the way for the greater good. So last week we can look at as well is that everyone is essentially a reflection of yourself. And when we kind of look at that, we can kind of go as, the collective all in general, that when we have our own thoughts, when we have, good thoughts, bad thoughts, everything in our reality is essentially a reflection of our own mind. So if we find out that this collective people all in general are all having the same exact subconscious mind, they just all are individually programmed with different emotional thoughts and feelings, then we kind of look at, the old good saying goes is we are as strong as our weakest link. So if we can kind of take that unconditional love that is scientifically proven to be the center of who we all are, what it is from the Eastern world, and now the Western world is now backing it up, we can find that unconditional love for everyone will all help out not only just you, but everyone around you. So for Valentine's Day, we can find that love is not just what we're kind of looking at for the love of candy or pizza or going to a great movie. We can find out that, let's collectively kind of give unconditional love, not only for others, but for ourselves. Dr. Chip, he kind of touched on a little bit of it, but unconditional love, and one of the parts that comes into this is trust. Trusting everyone else out there, and you'll receive the same exact thing. And that's a part of the unconditional love, as well as judgments. If we judge others, we're essentially judging a part of ourselves. Like I said, your reality, in a sense, is a reflection of your own mind. So if you're judging other people, other than giving them unconditional love, you're essentially hurting a part of yourself. And the last one comes with forgiveness. You know, people make mistakes. We always make mistakes. And that's kind of the beauty of learning. If we consistently kind of forgive others for what they have done, we can see ourselves kind of having more enjoyable relationships, more unconditional love that we can give to much more people. But the thing is, like I said, you know, if we talk about the collective, it's going to be kind of a mirror image with actually ourselves. So when we look at trust, it's not only you don't trust other people, it's actually a correlation stating that you don't trust yourself. So if we kind of dive ourselves in internally of how the Eastern world is looking at it, we can see that if we trust ourselves more, they will reflect in our reality the state that we'll start trusting more and more people. If we have judgment towards others, there's something in our subconscious mind that we're actually judging, as well as our forgiveness. So for this year, what I kind of like looking at a deeper understanding of what love is for Valentine's Day, let's take it one step farther. Let's try to help out the collective or everyone else around us experience the unconditional love as well as ourselves. Maybe we can kind of help ourselves out by not eating as much sugar, you know, trying to help ourselves and love ourselves to giving us the right nutrients to help the body, as well as getting out there, moving, focusing on the nervous system, understanding the connection between a lot of this stuff that the body needs to maintain optimal health, as well as the emotions of unconditional love. If we stick with unconditional love, which is stating with our energy centers that we all have, that's who we truly are, anything other than that is just complete disease in our own reality compared to when we look at the emotional body. So I just wanted to kind of bring that to your attention that, you know, love has a much more to do than the actual word itself. It's not just candies and hearts and bears and everything, but if we kind of can put that all together of how we look at all the health all together, let's unconditionally love ourselves by giving us exactly what we need nutritionally, physically, and emotionally. And we went over that tonight in many different ways. And that kind of brings up to our last topic here. Our next health shop will still continue to keep that theme of love. But next time we're going to talk about the strong heart when it comes to nutrition, the spine, and emotions. And you know that I'm just going to bring up subconscious mind again and love. But that's just kind of a good point of how the subconscious mind works. It works by habit. So if you constantly hear this stuff over and over and over again, or if you keep telling yourself in your mind that you unconditionally love yourself, you'll start seeing your life change much, much more as life goes on. And the best way that we can give unconditional love to you and helping yourself out throughout this time is giving you free stuff, free incentives. You know, we have, when you come to our health shops, you will receive a health check, a HRV screen, as well as health coaching sessions if you come here at the location at Natural Health. And we're located at 2000 Jefferson in Quincy, and you can also call us to let us know you're coming. You can certainly come without calling us, but you'll find out that we have all of our health shops on YouTube as well as Brighteon. And please follow us on Instagram and Facebook, like, share all of our posts. The kind of neat thing that we're kind of developing with our social media is diving out and giving you the information, giving you the science and everything that you would need to progressively love everyone else with the information. So if you share our page and the information that we're providing on that page, it'll actually correlate to loving yourself and loving others and giving everyone the information that they need to get optimally healthy. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. That is the end of our health shop, and I will see you next week. Thanks.